All right, let's go ahead and dive in and see what Divine Holy Spirit has for the collective. You guys, the cards are all upright and in order by way of major arcana and through each element. And yes, I have missed you all so very much. So it's good to be back. Thank you for being here. I haven't touched these cards since the last collective reading that I did for you all, for the collective. So I'm coming back just like you're coming back. So here we go. Divine Holy Spirit, the highest white light consciousness, what do you have for the collective? What does collective need to know and be made aware of? Just so you know, I was working on a large order. So I can't do both, you know, because they both drain my energy. So I said, well, I want to be able to give you all my everything. So I put it to the side, the tarot and all that. I was still receiving downloads. So even on the community board, I was, you know, typing out some things that I was receiving just to share with you. Not everything, but just, you know, for the most part, generalization of ideas. But anyway, here we are, you guys. What do you have for the collective at this time? Holy Spirit, please and thank you. I heard community just now. The Knight of Swords is showing itself in the pre-shuffle. Kind of dashed out over near my candle here. What else, Holy Spirit, do you have for the collective? Okay, I heard exciting time. I heard gentrification. So that's like making old things new again. What else, Spirit? What else do you have? I heard holy sector. That's original, right? Holy sector. What does that mean, Spirit? So sector, but I'm seeing even with the regentrification, like a neighborhood street. So we're talking about sector, so sections, possibly. Because, you know, the regentrification has a lot to do with segregation or, you know, the merging of what once was segregated, now opening it up. But then it kind of has like a, you know, that's challenging on a social level because gentrification is not always considered a positive thing, especially by those who have already been inhabiting that area. And then for like the big wigs to come along and kind of scoot everybody out who was historically already there. Y'all know this is a message, so we're gonna go with it. You know, it's not fair to them, but at the same time, it's needed, right? I mean, it depends on who's saying it's needed, but for the most part, it is based on like a I know this is controversial, so I'm trying to tiptoe my way through this. It's possibly kind of look like as a uplift, a upstart, a rebuild, like to bring new energy in. That's what it is, y'all. Whew, but it's controversial. So yeah, there's that part. All right, thank you for that, Spirit. So let's fine tune this thing here as we dwindle down to the air shuffle. Anything else, Holy Spirit, for the collective? Thank you. Something about cigarettes. I don't know, I was given an energy of an old-timey kind of cigarette box, like a red and white cigarette box. So that could be significant for maybe somebody who's entering into this energy. Because I'm feeling like if we're talking about an old neighborhood or the historic accounts of something, you know, this person may have preferred a box of cigarettes that are red and white. That's kind of what I'm getting, y'all. But I feel like it has to do with historics and seniority here. So at the same time, I heard pimp squad and creep squad. I'm being told a Jerry curl is significant. So we might be going back to the 70s sort of energy because the carton, like the whole flip top carton that I was getting seems very 70s, 80s. All right, y'all, whatever it is, I'm how I'm getting it is how I'm giving it. All right, but thank you, Spirit. Thank you for all of that information. But let's go ahead and get on in here. see what's going on. Anybody cooking for Thanksgiving? If you celebrate that, for me, it's tradition. I don't really enjoy cooking, but I definitely do it just based on tradition. I'm that girl, so I get caught up in it for that reason, but nothing else. Nothing else. All right, here we are, y'all. Here we are. Let's get in here. So we have the Four of Swords at the bottom of the deck, y'all. I don't know why I mentioned Thanksgiving and cooking, but we are talking about historic stuff here from the channeling. Tradition. Whew. All right. Spirit, tell me about this Four of Swords, please. What's going on with the Four of Swords here? All right, so I heard rest and then I heard eternal rest. Oh, y'all, yikes. Okay, here we go. So what I got just now is possibly somebody having to go back home or back to a place maybe they called home once upon a time. With the whole family and tradition, y'all, it just gave me funeral vibes. It just gave me, you know, at a time such as this, going back to a place, because the regentrification, it's almost as if going to a place, it's not going to look like what you remember it as, but you had no need really to go back to this hometown kind of sort of thing. But the tradition, the historics, the regentrification, but I feel like someone's being laid to rest. So that's your reason for having to go back in time or in travel, but kind of back in time, you know? Even with the whole mention of me saying Thanksgiving, I don't celebrate it, but just for the tradition of it, I like to fix, you know, things to prepare to eat for Thanksgiving traditional meals. So y'all, this is where we're headed with this. So you could possibly be visiting a place that is, you know, it's not going to look like what you once remembered it as. But it's kind of based on gathering around with family. And this may be leading us up to you having to be with or in front of people who are going to, they perceive you as someone else now. Even though you've grown up, you probably haven't seen these people in some time, but maybe when the circumstances, you know, formerly when you were around them were not good, some time has passed now to where they see you as, you know, you had every right to feel the way that you felt about X, Y, and Z. But they didn't realize, you know, the reason for, okay, this is all the stuff I'm picking up right now. They didn't realize the reason for your attitude or how you were careless or flippant, like, you know, nothing mattered. They couldn't really charge it to you being a young adult. You know, maybe you're just going through something. They just kind of dismissed you, or just maybe didn't, you know, they just didn't want anything to do. They didn't want anything to do with your, I'm hearing admission of behavior. So it's kind of like they knew something was going on, but they didn't take the time to try to find out or understand. They just went ahead and chalked it up as, oh, well, Sheila's just being Sheila. You know how she gets. You know, they just kind of, or, you know, whoever you are that I'm speaking to. But this time around it's different, but the fact that you're going back is going to bring some sort of culture, like a new culture to their awareness, just by them considering who's standing in front of them versus how you left them. But it's all on account of this Four of Swords energy, because if it weren't for whoever's being laid to rest, bringing everyone back to a meeting place, then, you know, you probably would not have even thought of coming back to this particular physical location. Ooh, all right, y'all, that was a lot. Thank you for that, Spirit. Thank you. Okay, let's get into it. I keep saying let's get into it. I don't know why. That's probably the 4th time I said that. Or let's get in there. I don't know, y'all. I'll keep that in the back of my mind to see, you know, what's the meaning of that. All right, so I'm looking at the table here at a 2 of Pentacles. So this is a decision surrounding finances. I'm hearing the word stability at the same time. So maybe this is a question of, you know, should I stay or should I go? So perhaps you hearing about the passing of someone, or, you know, this could be possibly, you know, that last chance or that last effort to see this person while they're still here, because, you know, maybe there is some news of, you know, it's only a matter of time at this point. So weighing out financially, trying to balance out, you know, should I go or should I not go? You know, it could have to do with finances. Are you able to afford to go? That could be one thing. But if it's not even that, it's, you know, the values are about, the pentacles are about value, and then the value is about the principle. At the same time, you're kind of like, well, you know, you're thinking of what really matters to you, like what's valuable to you. Is it valuable to you that you go ahead and come and make amends with this person, or the people who surrounded this person once upon a time that maybe came against you? It's like, yeah, so get in there. It's like, you're not coming from a place of, you know, animosity, even though it might be a little bit there, because you don't know what you're walking into. That's the energy. You don't, because when they see you, they already have an idea of who you were, but it's different now. But I feel like they know that now. They know why you reacted a certain way, or you took the steps that you did. And possibly this person in the 4 of Swords is the one that we're speaking of, who is, you know, the reason for, okay. So this is a family member closely connected to your ex-person. So they're the ones that possibly have, you know, a small window of time. But you're going into a position to where this person, whoever's in the 4 of Swords, of course, you don't want to see them or realize that they're in this condition that they're in. Like, you don't want this for them. Because I feel like you've accepted that the person in the 4 of Swords was almost like, you know, just collateral damage. So you don't really necessarily want to blame them, but you know, they had to do what they had to do. They had to side with family, which family is the ex-person of yours collective. They had to side with them. So it's kind of like you understand, but you don't really understand. But that's my whole energy of having to walk into this, because you know there are going to be people, relatives of your ex-person, who are looking at you as, wow, like kind of seeing, okay, so I'm getting like an idea of like they're looking at a ghost. Almost as if the saying, like, they look like they saw a ghost. And that energy belongs to you. The energy that they're picking up is your energy, but it's based on 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago of that person that they knew that made all of these, what they thought were terrible decisions. But now fast forward 10, 20 years, they realize that, man, she was on it, or he was on it. Like, they made, you know, I don't blame them for what the decision that they made. That's the idea here. So back to the 2 of Pentacles, you're considering, like, you know, number one, I don't want to see this person in the 4 of Swords, because, you know, I understand that it is what it is. They're basically collateral damage, but I still probably need to go and say, you know, my final well wishes to them, or whatever you call that. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that has a technical name. But at the same time, it's so many other things that you know by physically going here, you're going to run into that family member, this family member, and especially that ex, right? And it's like, that's a lot to consider to have to deal with, being that you are where you are, you've been vindicated, and you know now that they understand the decisions and the choices you made based on what they've come to a realization of, that they're like, I would have did that too. So you're considering, well, should I go? And if I go, is it going to, be worth the time, the effort? Because you don't want to go into a lion's den. But I feel like, by the relatives of your ex-person understanding the choices you made, now they understand. But at the same time, it still feels like there's some uncertainty in this Two of Pentacles, because collective, that possibly you could get caught up or stirred up into, or somebody could maybe use this moment to tug at your heartstrings, and I'm talking about your ex-person, because you've done such a good job avoiding them and doing everything that you could to try to keep them at bay, because you do not want anything to do with them any longer. But they somehow don't seem to be able to comprehend that themselves. So they keep trying to insert their energy somehow. But you know how they operate. So I feel like you're not particularly looking forward to seeing that one person, even though you know that you need to go. If it's pay your respects, if it's see them for the last time, because they have a limited amount of time here. But you also know that there's some sort of there's some sort of bait and hook here. I feel like with this Two of Pentacles. So it's like, so the Two of Pentacles, like, I know I'm not about to scrape up my little money to try to get a flight out there and then have this person try to keep me in the state of wherever you're headed to, right? Wherever this physical location is, because they want to try to trap you. That's this Two of Pentacles. All right, y'all, let's see what else is here. Because that's the only card that we see face up. All the other cards surrounding this are face down, so this is what you don't see. But it's based on this Two of Pentacles decision. Should I? Is it going to be worth it? In actuality, how's the turnout going to be if I, show up with this kind of attitude? Am I going to get this kind of response? There's a lot on the table here. But let's see. Let's turn these cards over. I'm going to just start flipping. Another decision. This is the Two of Swords. This is what the idea around what ifs. The Two of Swords, another decision card. There's not a lot of information here. There's a lot of time in between that things were left unsaid. So everybody was pretty much up to the understanding of what they were being told by way of one person, who possibly your ex-person was the responsible party for putting out information. But of course, it wasn't putting you in the best light, collective, to the other relatives. So there's the one thing with the time and space, right? And then the other thing I feel like with the Two of Swords is, you kind of blindly walking into something because you really have no idea what this person said about you behind your back. You don't know the extent of how this person, your ex-person, tried to paint themselves in the best possible light, right? You have no idea. You know that they're capable of doing some pretty wild things, but at the end of the day, you don't even know how far they took it. So this is another thing about walking into something. You have no idea if it's going to be worth your time, because the worth your time would mean I'm not about to, spend all this money to go say goodbye to someone only to get this person, this ex-person, try to get me hemmed up in something to where I can't even leave the state, let alone the city, to get back home to my family. It's too much on the table. But I feel like a decision is going to have to be made here. It's confirmed twice, right back to back, about, visiting this person in the Four of Swords. So I can say, I feel like your ex-person is not the one in the Four of Swords. They could be close behind, but they're not the ones we're talking about. This is someone who's connected to them, somebody that you would want to go and say goodbye to, because you realize they were collateral damage. But the other part of that is it going to get me caught up in anything? That's what you're asking, collective, or you will be if this is relatable. All right, let me turn this card over. That's underneath the 2 twos of decisions. We have the 8 of Wands reversed. Look at that, y'all. I feel like it's with this 8 of Wands reversed, I feel like this is some sort of entrapment energy, or it's being considered as a opportunity of a window to possibly get you to reason with this ex-person, or for them to kind of push you into a corner, or it just put you in a place to where it feels slimy, like you don't even want to be there, like you want to go home and shower immediately, because I just feel it's like a plague, because you're in their environment at this point. It's like you physically travel to their hometown, their territory, their background. So it's like they're like, oh, this is going to be simple. You know, that's the attitude that I'm receiving from your ex. Like, oh, this is going to be easy. You know, because they're going to play on the emotions of this at this point. Like they really need you. They're crying, they're snotting, they're falling all over the place, and you know they're trying to fall in your arms, and you're backing up to where they almost hit the floor, because you really don't want to like physically be around this ex. But this is a circumstance. But they're definitely, with this 8 of Wands reverse, I feel like this is like, what was the word that came around? A manifestation, but that wasn't the word, but that's the energy. It's almost as if they knew about this passing months ago, or they conjured it up somehow, wanting to speed this thing up just because they knew it could bait you in to their backyard, to their territory. That's when they'll be able to see you again, but on their turf. Okay, let me turn this over. Turn this one card over. Let's see. Oh, there's the Knight of Swords showing again. That card flipped out in the pre-shuffle, and it kind of hit itself up against my candle here. But this is something that's happening quickly. Remember, I just said something about manifestation. That wasn't the word I was being shown. I could only see like the M and something else, and then it slipped, you know, the whole perception of everything. Excuse me, but manifest stuck the most. But I feel like a slow maneuvering here. But then look what turns up, this Knight of Swords, because I felt like it was a kind of, can it hurry up? Can this hurry up and happen so I can get collective back, you know, where they belong with me? That was the energy. Because nothing else has been working. Any other way that they tried to get in contact with you, or tried to like get the violin out and start playing slowly and tell you about all this and that happened to them, and you're like, I don't give a you know, that's your attitude. Like, why are you even calling me, telling me this? You know, I really don't care what's happening in your life. You know, you abandoned me and everything else that you should have been there for and loved and cared and nurtured, only to go chase hoes, chase money. Like, why are you even talking right now? Is the look that you gave them. But this thing can't happen fast enough. Whoever is on their deathbed is the idea here with the 4 swords. This can't happen fast enough for your ex-person, because they're trying to get you to hurry up and come. Let's see what this card is. So we have the 9 of Swords. I'm going to turn this card over because this 9 of Swords is laying on top of it. But y'all keep in mind, this was what we didn't see happening behind the scenes of this 2 of Pentacles. But it's transcribing everything. Look at this. 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords, 9 of Swords, 4 of Swords. That's death energy, y'all. Like physical death energy. They're playing off this person's demise or soon to be demise to try to get to you, collective. This is their opportunity. This is it. The swords, y'all. Look at the swords. 9 of Swords, 2 of Swords, 9, 10, 4 of Swords. That 8 of Wands is action. So that 8 of Wands in reverse is like, it wasn't happening fast enough. Whatever actions they were putting out, I told you they called you, possibly tried to come see you and did all these other things to try to get you on board with them, but you were like, you denied it all the way through, but they kept trying. But the Knight of Swords energy, this can't happen fast enough for them to get, and I keep hearing to get you back in their arms. They want you back in their arms. Okay, we got it. We got it. We got it, right, collective? Thank you, Spirit, for this. All right, y'all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide all of this over here so I can get this group into the frame. Okay, so one of these cards is touching my Kipper deck. I just want to keep that in mind. But here are the cards here. This card right here was touching this Kipper deck. So possibly we're going to grab a clarifier when we get going good. All right, y'all. I had to pause. Okay, so we have the Knight of Pentacles here next to the Hierophant. I was kind of drawn to these three cards right here underneath the Hierophant. I'm gonna just go ahead and turn these over before we discover what else is here. Let's see what's here underneath the Hierophant. We have the Knight of Cups, the Sun card reverse, and Judgment in the upright. Two majors. But that Sun is reversed though. Judgment is here. Spirit, tell me about the Judgment, the Sun card reverse, and the Knight of Cups, please. Persecution. Excuse me. Persecution. Vulnerability. That energy came up around, you know, this previous energy we went over. Vulnerability. Well, I mean, that would make sense with the Knight of Cups here. You know, the Knight of Cups wants to be able to come and have a shoulder to lean on when they need it. They want to be able to be mobile. So that's, I'll show up when I need something from you, but other than that, F off. That's how I feel about this Knight of Cups right now. And possibly that's the energy that your ex-person was in once upon a time, because the Sun card is reversed. So and I told you there was an energy of abandonment when I was talking about them over here. But this is that abandonment energy here. Now, the Judgment card, I feel like is, you know, present tense, like right now, them being under judgment for these acts of leaving what really mattered by the Sun card being in reverse. Abandonment, leaving what really mattered at the end of the day. And now they know that provided them with their happiness, their sense of worth and self-worth. They know that now. Because I feel like this Knight of Cups was somebody who just traveled along. Whenever they thought they needed you, they'll just pull out their little Rolodex or their little index and find your phone number and say, oh, yeah, hi. And then it was bye, you know. Whatever happened in between that hi and that bye, just know that when the hi came, hello, the bye would goodbye follow after. And then it was like a repeat energy because the night travels back and forth. But it was only because they needed you. They needed this healing. They needed to be able to come dump all their baggage on you and head back out once they got their healing. But they're under judgment for this right now. This is present tense. Like their realization of whatever pain, sadness that they're feeling is, I heard, conjured up. Whatever is on the other end of a conjuring is what they're going through now. This was underneath the Hierophant and the Knight of Pentacles energy. So I even talked about the Knight of Pentacles energy over here because I was feeling like, you know, this is somebody who chased hoes and money. I feel like with the Knight of Pentacles, that's exactly what this is. But now there's some sort of, okay, so here you are, collective. You're showing up as a Hierophant here. Now they want to be able to offer you something because they recognize you now as the Hierophant. They didn't see that before, but they see it now. Whatever they're going through with this judgment, because this energy was on top of this judgment energy about them having to reckon with, you know, they totally just abandoned what meant any and everything to them. And they know that now. And they considered you some sort of dumping ground, like for them to come dump all of their woes and troubles on you because you had a healing essence about you. They walk away free and clear, clean as a whistle, back into the BS. But they would come back again for some more healing and repair of your energy, collective. But they know that who you are now with the Hierophant. But I feel like this Knight of Pentacles wants to come make everything right. It's like, you know, somebody making an offering in the church. It's like they show up to the church. They want to make the offering thinking that's going to help fix things by making this offering. Oh, as long as I give an offering, or, you know, the stipulations of paying tithes, as long as I do that, I'm good. That's the, there's a smug energy to this right here. I'm good. As long as I do this, I'm good. So there is an offer that possibly could be made to you, collective, by way of this Knight of Pentacles energy. But I feel like it's a duality. It has to do with, but you got to come here to get it physically. Yeah, there's something here with this Two of Pentacles, this decision, because there's something you're going to have to decide here. So there might be a tempting offer made to you, collective. This could be a possibly linked to whoever's, you know, unfortunately about to pass. They could be leaving something to your ex-person, possibly the person in this Knight of Pentacles. So them wanting to give you now some sort of offering. I'm hearing praiseworthy. So maybe they're going to tell you, along with the violin, you know, strumming or whatever you call it, they're going to tell you how much you help them. Because the Hierophant, I feel like, is a leader. They teach lessons, like they're helpful. They want to see the best for you. 5 is change. They're going to tell you how much you mean to them some sort of way, but it's going to be on a spiritual level here with the Hierophant. So I feel like they could be coming at you with a whole different approach that you're not even prepared to even hear. There's something that I feel like is just going to catch you like off guard because you didn't see it coming. So I feel like it just has to do with this person who was chasing hoes and money. They're now going to come at you and tell you how much you've helped them, how much they appreciate the things that you tried to tell them, warn them, teach them. You know, you nurtured them, cared for them. You know, the Cup energy, the Knight who came to get their healing, but they went back into the BS. It's like you had them covered this whole time. Hierophant energy, and they're realizing that because they're under judgment for it. Plus, they have somebody very close to them on their deathbed. So things are hitting a little differently for this Knight of Pentacles. Like a lot different. So perhaps this is the energy surrounding why I felt like there's something else about this decision of going. Because you do know what you're walking into, but then it's almost like you're not ready or prepared for what possibly could tie you to physically staying there, or some sort of proposition of wanting to entertain the thought of something else when it's like you were done. All right, y'all, let's see what else is here. It could be a few things. This is a collective reading, so So all in all, this person could have done a complete 180. They could have changed, if not a complete 180. But this Hierophant energy is, you know, in the upright, they're recognizing who you are. But the thing is, they're still trying to buy that. They're still trying to buy their way into something. And that's a no, because it's like that was one of the things that kind of turned you off to begin with, because they totally left behind any and everything that loved them, that, you know, should have mattered to them, to go chase money. So it's now, you know, they want to present that to you, but that's like, you know, you're throwing up a cross, like, you know, back away from me. Like, you know, that's still not anything that's flattering to you, like, you know. But it's like they're showing their appreciation for how you've helped them. At least they're saying that this time around. That was never anything on the table of consideration, that you helped them. That, if anything, you were hurting them to have them tell it. And that wasn't the case. But you had to protect yourself. But now they understand. 10, 15 years later. All right, on top of this energy, with this wanting to present something to you, to honor you, acknowledge you for who you were and are as a Hierophant, we have the King of Pentacles. So I feel like the King of Pentacles, I feel like they are going to come into some sort of lump sum, possibly. They're inheriting something here, and they're showing up as a King of Pentacles. So I feel like either way, they're coming into this. They're either going to want to bring it to you, or they know that you're on the way. So they're going to try to maybe present an idea to you that they're coming into this money and they want to do X, Y, and Z, including you and whoever else they abandoned, because they realize that now. But that Knight of Pentacles was the thing that let me know they want to make some sort of presentation of an offer to you that has to do with money. All right, y'all. Underneath this King of Pentacles, or it could have been on top, I don't know, we have the Justice card reversed, because things aren't all of what they seem. That's why the Justice card is in the reverse. Now, them showing up to the King of Pentacles, possibly they're counting their chickens before they hatch, because maybe there's some unresolved legal issues here. They figure they may be in the clear to receive this, but in actuality, it's going to end up being turned over to something or someone else. It's not going to be theirs. So it's like if you're having an idea of, man, my life could be a lot better if I had more money, and then here they are saying, oh, I'm about to get a whole lot of money, and then you're like, well, okay, maybe, you know. But what you don't know is that money is not completely theirs. They're going to talk a good game, and they're going to make it seem like, oh, it's in the bank, and it's, you know, that saying that it's on the way, checks in the mail, whatever that is. There's going to be, I almost wanted to give the idea that they're going to be delays, but I feel like they're never going to receive this money. Something's going to, like a curveball energy, something unexpected is coming through, that they think it's in the bag, but it's not. But it'll be a shame to have pulled you along into the understanding of they're going to get this, when that's a lie. Yeah. Maybe the intentions are good with this person, but they don't see this curveball coming. That's all. Justice reverse. All right, and I feel like the High Priestess here is letting you know this by way of this message, but then you already know who you're dealing with. You already know. They change faces like leaves change colors. That's who this person is, because they are a compulsive liar. Because we have the energy with the family members. They were being told one thing about you, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things about you, and they had to kind of go with it because there was too much time in between of what they remember you as to where you are now, to where they understand now why you made the decisions you made, but still at the same time, they haven't heard it from the horse's mouth. Their interpretation was based on your ex-person and what they were feeding them. So the high priest is like, everybody kind of knows what's happening here just based on this one common denominator of a compulsive liar family member, right? So they understand that you did what you had to do based on things that they've been seeing unfold in the past however many years. But this is their relative, their whoever, sibling, whoever. They know this person because they've been done dirty by this person. Maybe they were in denial, or in a use of being codependent, or just kind of masking and covering it up, and that's my brother, or that's my family, all of that traditional stuff. So they just kind of swept a lot of stuff under the rug, but they know who this person is. I feel like with the high priestess here, the high priestess is here, the energy is at work, but it's like, everybody's kind of just standing around looking at each other. Nobody's really kind of diving into the depths of, let's go ahead and clear this thing up. Nobody's really trying to do that. But it's like people really, they know, just like you know that they know. You always knew that they knew what you saw. They had to know. Like, I know I'm not the only one that saw this. I know y'all know what's going on. All right, one more card. Let's turn it over. So the 9 of Pentacles reverse on top of this high priestess. Yeah, so you know what? I feel like that would just have to, surround the energy of, it's a lie. The intentions might be good. Maybe they are getting a lump sum, but it's not theirs to keep, sort of thing. But, they know who you are. At the same time, they're not going to forget that they need to approach you a certain way. The 9 of Pentacles in reverse. Let me see, y'all. Spirit, tell me about the 9 of Pentacles reverse. What's going on with this one? I heard operation. Curtail. Curtail. A curtailed operation. Oh, okay. So this is the culprit. This is the reason why they're not holding on to this King of Pentacles energy. They feel like they're about to receive some sort of inheritance, possibly. And they're going to tell you it's all good. Money's in the bank. We got it. I just need you. But here's somebody curtailing the operation in this 9 of Pentacles reverse energy. This is what they don't see coming. Hold on, y'all. Because I was hearing somebody's got their eyes on their bag. Eyes on the bag in this 9 of Pentacles. I heard jealous, and then I heard ex-lover. Oh, you guys, this is the card that was on top of the clarifying deck. I told you we was going to remember that. Let's go ahead and grab, because I was told even at the time, like, don't even shuffle, just to turn the top card over, because it was touching the deck, and this was the top card. I'm going to just go and turn it over and see lovers. Look at that. That's what I just heard. That's what I just heard. All right, y'all. Hope this helps. It's good to be back.